Clear skies across our area tonight. Look at this waxing crescent moon. It is a chilly one out there. Current temperatures in the 50s in many spots, and we will get down into the 40s tonight. The full forecast is coming up.
The news at 9 on North Mississippi CW4 starts now.
Right now at 9, into the storm, meteorologist Jacob Dickey gives us a look at what he saw during Hurricane Michael. And a historic home now turned to ash after a fire who fire crews say called for help. We'll have more on those stories in just a moment, but first, a former Kossuth coach is set to plead guilty to a federal sex crime. Thanks for joining us tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm Scott Martin. 30-year-old Micah Wilbanks will be in court October 25th to change his plea on sexual exploitation of a minor. Now, Wilbanks was indicted back in May, just days after it was discovered he had been secretly videotaping girls in the basketball locker rooms. The federal guidelines call for a minimum 15-year sentence on the charges. The Friendly City is dismissed from a civil suit that's centered around a 2015 officer-involved shooting. Now, many of you at home remember the shooting that killed Ricky Ball back in October of 2015. Paul Royal sued the city, former officer Kenyon Boykin, and former Chief Tony Carlton and others on behalf of Ball's family. Settlement talks have taken place, but in the past, but court records do not mention a settlement. The judge also ordered several depositions and documents remain sealed. Boykin still faces a manslaughter trial. Now, a motion to dismiss that criminal charge is set to be heard on November 1st. A historic home in Noxubee County is destroyed in an overnight fire. Well, this is all that is left of the two-story Cavett house, also known as Sunshine. Debris and charred remains all scattered across the yard, as you see there. Jeff Lee with Fire District 1 says that a motorist was driving by when they noticed the fire and called 911. The home is located on Deerbrook Road. Lee says they have not yet spoken with the owners of the home and that at this time the fire is not being investigated. And just listen to that wind there. Hurricane Michael has wreaked havoc all across the southeastern United States. Our own meteorologist Jacob Dickey, along with his father, they went to Florida to track the storm. Now, they made it into the eye of that Category 4 hurricane as it passed over Mariana, Florida. Well, here's how Jacob described the devastation Hurricane Michael left behind.
Within a couple of hours, it went from just a rain shower to 100-mile-an-hour sustained winds, gust even higher, that were pulling buildings apart around us. And then as the eye passed over, we actually got into the eye of the storm. Dead silence. Once the eye passed, we were back in the eye wall, and it was, what goes up must come down. We started back with that very strong winds, and then things materialized back to just a shower.
Man, it's been tense stuff there. Well, you can hear more of Jacob's story tomorrow on WCBI News. And on Monday, our own Andrea Self will sit down with Jacob on mid-morning to hear his story firsthand. Well, time now to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson with a first look at our forecast here at home. Keith, it finally felt like fall out there today.
I know, a long time coming there, Scott. Currently, we are looking at some mid-50s and upper 50s in most spots. Some spots still holding on to 60, West Point 60, but most spots already into the 50s. Look at this, lows tonight down into the 40s area-wide. The coolest night since May 1st. We'll love that. We do have some temperatures up to the north, even cooler than where we are now. So that's why we are going to be cooling things down. Skies are clear across our area right now. The city lights twinkling out there, with the stars twinkling as well. Vibrant stars tonight with that dry air mass in place. Here's our planner for Friday. We're back into the 60s by noon, 70s in the afternoon after that chilly start. The full forecast for the weekend in just a few minutes.
Well, new at 9, every year schools and districts in Mississippi are assigned letter grades. Those grades are determined based on things like test scores and graduation rates. There's a move for more transparency and making complicated data easier to understand for parents who want to keep a check. Courtney Ann Jackson tells us what's changing.
A through F grades are designed to make it easy for schools, districts, and you, the parents, to figure out how well things are or aren't going in your child's school. But before now, you could only view those grades on an Excel spreadsheet.
We want to ensure that we have a system in place that is reflective of the academic gains that are occurring in the classroom. And with our A through F system, it is parent friendly so that parents can easily associate how the schools are performing with what's going on in the classroom.
This easier to navigate site lets you click around and dig into more details with each click. For example, how well is your child's school doing in math compared to the rest of the state?
We do want parent-friendly reports, report cards, and data so that it's easily to understand.
But take a look at the snapshot of all the grades. More A's this year, but the number of F-rated districts jumped from 9 to 21. That's because last year's grades were inflated to account for changing standardized tests. But there's still a pushback to the current rating system.
The perception that people are not being heard.
A task force is currently charged with examining the rating system. A change to federal law makes it necessary to assign grades to all schools and districts. But 4 schools that deal with special populations and 1 district have not been receiving grades in recent years. Their grades are being withheld for now.
Vote on the official scores until November 8th until we understand the implications for these particular schools.
Well, more than 1,000 middle and high school kids spend the day learning about career opportunities in manufacturing and other industries at Northeast Mississippi Community College. The Boonville campus hosted its 2nd annual Higher Education Achieves Demonstrable Skills, or HEADS Festival. Well, students and others could interact with industry leaders, ask questions about different careers. Faculty there says that it's an important opportunity for students to see opportunities in many fields all in one place.
When you take a student that comes in here and looks at those electrical boards right there and they're confused and don't know what they're looking at, and then they make that light bulb come on, it's worth it at the end of the day.
NEMCC's pep rally was also moved so the students visiting the campus could have fun in some of those festivities. Well, one elementary teacher is getting a cash boost for her classroom. Stacy Talano was presented with a $500 check this morning for winning a back-to-school essay contest. Well, it's sponsored by Ford County Electric Power and WCBI. Talano's winning essay highlighted her love of reading and her hope that instilling the same love for literacy into her students at French Camp Elementary.
I've had a passion for reading since I started teaching 16 years ago, and teaching middle school kids has taught me that this is a pivotal age, that they either fall in love with reading or they fall away from reading, and I want them to fall in love with reading.
Teachers, they are responsible for the next generations of kids that are coming out that will be our leaders and the people in our community. And when we can support people with a passion for what they do, like Ms. Talano, it's very important to us to give her the tools that she needs to do the job the best that she can.
Reading is knowledge and knowledge is power. Well, Talano plans to use her prize money to buy books for her classroom library. Well, a federal grant supplying